Burn the boats, claim your future. They say most people die at 25 and aren't buried until 75, not because their hearts stop beating, but because their will does. Because their vision crumbles under the weight of fear, distraction, and indecision. And it all starts with one simple, damning truth. They never decided what they truly wanted. Understand this, the most dangerous place a person can live is not in poverty, not in chaos, but in comfort without purpose. You were not born to drift. You were not born to live on autopilot, waking up each day just to survive another 24 hours in someone else's version of your life. No. You were born to take command, to direct your energy, to decide with such unwavering clarity that nothing, not doubt, not failure, not circumstance, can stop you. But the decision must be real, not the kind you whisper at night when no one's listening, the kind you carve into your soul with fire, the kind you bleed for, the kind you commit to so deeply that retreat is not an option. That's what burn the boats means. It means removing the back door, destroying your escape plan. It means betting your entire identity on becoming the person you're meant to be. Or dying in the pursuit of it. When Hernán Cortés landed in the New World in 1519 with 600 men and a dream of conquest, he gave a command that changed everything. Burn the ships. No way back, no retreat, win or perish. And in that fire something was awakened, not just strategy, but spirit. Suddenly, every man was all in, every drop of fear was replaced with purpose. That's what happens when you make a real decision. Every cell in your body starts working toward one direction. Now ask yourself this. Have you made that kind of decision, or are you still standing on the shoreline of your potential, keeping one hand on the boat just in case? Most people live with one foot in the dream and the other in their excuses. They say they want success, but they don't mean it. They want it if it's convenient, if it's comfortable, if they don't have to give up their weekends, their distractions, their safety nets. But that's not how this works. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you're willing to sacrifice for. Every great empire was built on a decision so strong it split the past from the future. Think of Thomas Edison, over 10,000 failed experiments just to bring the world light. Not because he was lucky or gifted or because everything lined up perfectly, it's because he decided. He said, "I will not stop until this is real," and in that moment his failures became irrelevant. Because the decision had already been made, the boats had already burned. Clarity you sleep, that pulls you forward like gravity. The world doesn't need more people who kind of want it. It needs warriors of purpose, people who know, and because they know, they act with force. Belief is where the fire starts, not belief in results, belief in yourself. Every champion you admire was once unseen, unproven, uncelebrated. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Henry Ford went bankrupt 5 times before he revolutionized the auto industry. Lincoln lost elections. Carnegie faced ridicule. Oprah was told she'd never make it on television. And yet here's the pattern. They believed before the world gave them permission. And that belief was the match that lit the decision. Listen closely. You don't need the world to approve your dream. You need you to commit to it, entirely, irrevocably, relentlessly. The moment you decide what you want and believe you can become the person who achieves it, everything changes, not overnight, not magically, but fundamentally. The fog lifts, the path appears, not all at once, but step by step. Because clarity breeds motion, and motion breeds power. But understand this: belief without discipline is just fantasy. And this is where most people fall apart. They get excited for a moment. Then life gets hard, and they fold. Because they made a wish, not a decision. They wanted a breakthrough without the burden. But you're different. You wouldn't still be here if you weren't searching for something deeper, something real. You're here because your soul remembers who you were before the world convinced you to play small. And now it's time to return, not as the person you were, but as the person you were meant to be all along. Burn the boats, claim your future. This is only the beginning. Clarity is not a luxury, it's a responsibility. A man without clarity is like a ship with no compass, drifting wherever the waves decide to push him. He wakes up, checks his phone, reacts to the world and calls it a day. He's alive, yes, but is he living? No. He's surviving, existing in default mode. And if that's the life you choose, understand, the world will assign you a role, a limit, a ceiling. And you will stay in that cage, unless you choose something greater. That choice begins with clarity. You must know what your life is about, not vaguely, not eventually, now. Don't tell me you want success. That's not a decision, it's a cliché. Tell me what that looks like. Who you want to become, what you want to create, what your days feel like, what your life stands for when you're gone. You have to paint the picture with so much detail that it burns into your mind like a vision you can't escape. Because once the mind sees it and believes it, the body starts chasing it. Write it down. Speak it aloud, etch it into your identity, because people with vision don't get distracted by noise. They don't flinch when failure shows up. They don't fold under pressure. Why? Because they already decided that their outcome is non-negotiable. Clarity doesn't eliminate fear. It overpowers it. Fear doesn't vanish. You just stop giving it the wheel. There's a reason Napoleon Hill said, "Definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement, not hope, not talent. Definiteness." That means cutting through the chaos of life and saying, "This is who I am, this is what I'm building, and nothing will stop me." Not opinions, not rejection, not the economy, not your past. Because once you define your purpose, everything else becomes noise. But clarity without purpose is just ego in disguise. This is the next layer, and it's where real power begins. Why do you want it? Not just for money, not just to prove someone wrong. Go deeper. What impact will it have on the world? Who will you serve? What legacy will you leave behind? Purpose is the engine. It's the fire underneath every disciplined action. It's the reason you get up when you don't feel like it. It's what separates those who fade out from those who become immortal. Think of Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't march through storms and threats and prison cells for fame. He did it because he was tethered to a vision bigger than himself. That's what gives you courage when everything around you tells you to quit. You're not here just to make a living. You're here to make a difference. And if you've lost sight of that, if you've drowned in routine or dulled your ambition to fit in, it's time to wake up. Ask yourself, what am I willing to die for? Because that's what you were meant to live for. You don't need motivation when you have purpose. Motivation fades, purpose fuels. Motivation is a spark, purpose is a furnace. When you attach your goals to a mission, not just your comfort, but something greater, you tap into energy most people never access. You stop chasing dopamine and start chasing destiny. So when the obstacles show up, and they will, you'll welcome them. Because you're not here for ease, you're here for evolution. You won't ask, why is this happening to me? You'll say, what is this shaping me into? And in that moment, you've already won. Discipline is the price you pay to become the person your vision demands. There is no shortcut, there is no hack. Only this: daily decisions made in silence, in solitude, when no one's clapping, no one's watching, and everything inside you says, take it easy. Discipline is the true test of desire. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers, because anyone can want it, but very few are willing to become it. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your standards. And your standards are revealed in your habits, your rituals, your level of self-respect. Discipline isn't punishment, it's proof. Proof that you're serious. Proof that your dream isn't just a fantasy, it's a contract, a sacred agreement between who you are now and who you're becoming. So start keeping your word to yourself. Wake up when you said you would. Work when you don't feel like it. Do it clean, do it sharp, do it with conviction. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you cast a vote for your future. And those votes add up, they compound, and one day you wake up and realize you didn't just build a habit, you built a new identity. Alignment is when thought, word, and action move in one direction, without hesitation, without contradiction. It's not enough to want success, you must live in a way that proves it. You must think like the person you want to become, speak like them, move like them. Every decision, every habit, every intention must point to that one singular direction, your destiny. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Your identity creates your reality. So if your habits are weak, if your mindset is filled with fear, if your words are soaked in doubt, then that's the signal you're sending to life, and life always responds in kind. Look in the mirror. Ask yourself with brutal honesty, am I aligned with my dream, or am I betraying it? Every time you say, I want this, but you act in ways that contradict it, you split yourself. And a divided person is a powerless one. But the moment you align, truly align, the shift is immediate, the conflict fades, the noise disappears, and all that remains is certainty, power, conviction. Alignment isn't about perfection, it's about integrity. It's about refusing to lie to yourself. It's about closing the gap between who you say you are and how you actually live. When your vision, your values, and your actions become one, that's when the magic begins. That's when momentum builds. That's when you stop chasing success and start becoming it. And yet, in the midst of all this fire, the ambition, the urgency, the hunger, there's a secret key that multiplies everything: gratitude. Gratitude is not weakness, it is not softness. It is a strength, it is presence, it is power. Gratitude doesn't mean you settle, it means you stay grounded. It means you build from appreciation, not desperation. Because when you operate from lack, you become blind to progress. But when you're grateful, deeply, fiercely grateful, you amplify the very energy that attracts more. Gratitude turns every moment into fuel, even the hard ones, even the silent battles. It allows you to say, this challenge is shaping me. This pain is growing me. This struggle is not here to stop me, it's here to serve me. Gratitude gives you perspective. It reminds you of how far you've come and how capable you really are. Think of the greats, the giants of industry, thought, and influence. You'll find ambition, yes, but you'll also find humility, a sense of reverence for the process, a respect for the journey. That's what gratitude gives you, the ability to chase greatness without becoming hollow, the ability to fight for more without losing your soul. So every morning you rise, start with thanks. Thanks for the fire inside you. Thanks for the strength you've earned. Thanks for the chance, today, to move closer to your highest self. Because gratitude is the soil in which greatness grows. And now we arrive at the edge. This is the part where most turn back, where the pressure builds, the path narrows, and the old self begs for comfort. But you're not here to retreat. You didn't come this far to stop. You came here to remember who you are. You are not average. You are not broken. You are not a victim of your past, your environment, or your fear. You are a force of nature, a creator, a visionary, a decision maker. You are a walking revolution, waiting to be awakened. So I ask you one last time, what do you want? Decide. Don't whisper it. Scream it into your soul. Make it your identity. Let the world know you were here, not to fit in, but to transform. And once you've decided, burn the boats. Let comfort die. Let excuses die. Let every weak version of you sink into the past. Because the new you, the real you, is ready to rise, to work, to fight, to lead, to become undeniable. This is not a motivational speech. This is a command, a contract, a call to war on your own limitations. You are no longer allowed to play small. You are no longer allowed to wait. You are no longer allowed to betray your calling. Decide what you want. Burn the boats. And don't look back. Because the future doesn't belong to the hesitant. It belongs to the bold, the committed, the ones who said, I will, no matter what, and then did.